Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Classroom to Boardroom webinar series. This session is Building a Career on Social Media with the lovely Miss Morgan Book. My name is Fiona Rankin. I am the Alumni Engagement Officer for Young Alumni and Student Relations here at McMaster. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to recognize that McMaster University is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee Nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Morgan is a 2024 McMaster graduate whose journey from student to social media entrepreneurship is nothing short of inspiring. With her creativity, authenticity, and a deep understanding of digital platforms, Morgan has built a brand that not only resonates with thousands of others, but also opened doors for meaningful partnerships and career growth. Tonight, she'll share insights on how she turned her passion into a profession, the challenges she faced, all helping her thrive in the ever-evolving world of social media. So please join me in welcoming Morgan.
Thank you. Hi, Fiona. Thank you all for being here today. I'm so excited just to chat because I feel like where my school and career journey has gone has been incredible. And sometimes I get imposter syndrome, but at the end of the day, like it's been so wild. And when I was planning out how I wanted to do this presentation, I wasn't 100% sure, but the way I think it's easiest for me to talk about it and for everyone to kind of figure out how everything happened is just to go in like chronological order of like high school to uni to kind of where I am now. But just to recap, hi, I'm Morgan Book. Book is actually my like very legal last name, which is something that no one on social media or even in the brand world like understands sometimes. I will get contracts these days and like, no, like what's her legal last name? And I'm always like, no, it is legally Book. Um, I graduated from McMaster in 2024 with a degree in political science. And basically, the log line for everything that has happened since is when I was 16, I went viral on social media, and now I am running a media and production company. So today, we're basically going to run through how I went from the classroom to the boardroom. I'm also going to preface, I'm on the very tail end of a cold. It seems like everyone is sick right now. So I have a water. My voice is a very tiny bit scratchy. So I'm going to say that right now. Um, Starting at the very beginning, growing up, I had a lot of career ideas. I was one of those kids. I didn't want to be like the princess, but I wanted to be a marine biologist, a movie director, a vet. And then I realized I would have to give animal shots, and that one was quickly off the table. But then I wanted to be a doctor for a very long time. I was very academically driven. I craved that academic validation that no one in my family could understand. I still get teased for doing homework on family vacations that happened 10 years ago. But that's just who I was. And that's where I got a lot of my validation and happiness from. And whether that was healthy or not for my 13-year-old self, that is how it went. I attended Westmount Secondary School, and I won't chat a whole lot about that, but if you know anyone who is like planning on going to secondary school soon, Westmount, it was one of the best decisions alongside Mac that I could have made. It is a self-paced, self-directed school here in Hamilton, and it allowed me to fulfill my own independence as you write your tests when you want to write them and submit your assignments when you want to submit them. So that prepared me so much for life and university, especially because the professors I had were great, but they are not there holding your hands, telling you when to do things. In the real world, no one is holding your hand, telling you what to do. So, anyways, high school is a very defining moment for me. Again, I wanted to be a doctor, and I was pretty much set on doing that until I took a grade 11 law class and was like, actually, never mind, I want to be a lawyer. So, in and around this time, grade 11 was when COVID hit for me. It was 2020. My parents had also just opened up their second Dairy Queen. And my best friend told me to create a TikTok account for the Dairy Queen. And I very quickly wrote her off. And to this day, I still give her credit. She was like, it used to be Musically, now it's TikTok, and brands are jumping on this and people are jumping on this. You should totally do it. People will eat it up. And for months, I was like, no. Like, I was on social media at the time, but not enough to realize the potential maybe it had. And then it was the dead of winter right before COVID hit. And I was bored at work. I was working part-time at the Dairy Queen. I was 16. And my coworker and I filmed a video of us making a cake and posted it and went on with our shift. And by the end of the shift, I think I was at 10,000 followers. And then I woke up the next day with 40,000 followers. And me being 16, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what that meant. My friends and I were on FaceTime and we were like, whoa, like, look at these numbers going up. That was all we cared about. We cared about the numbers on one or two videos that I had posted that day. And again, this is like January 2020. Nothing was happening. It's pretty much the deadest month you could ever work at an ice cream shop. And then COVID hit. And our grades were frozen in high school. And since the Dairy Queen was a family business, the only thing I found myself doing since I wasn't going to school anymore and the grades they couldn't change, I started to work full time at the Dairy Queen with my dad. And then I had nothing else to do but make cakes because yes, they were still being ordered. We were considered an essential business during the pandemic because we were food. Um, so yeah, I had a lot of free time to post. And at that point, I was probably posting 7 times a day on TikTok. So within a couple months, I think I hit 1 million followers on TikTok. I was doing like how to work at Dairy Queen. I was having people come in and be like, "Oh my God, I want you to decorate my cake." And again, I was 16 at the time. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how it was going to last, and I had no idea that it was going to come to this point. So all of 2020 was pretty much just like all about the numbers. I didn't make a single cent. I didn't make a single dime for all of 2020. Wasn't until 2021 when I think it was like creator friends that I had virtually met online were like, hey, you should check out YouTube. And YouTube is one of those platforms where they pay you simply to post. You have to hit a lot of requirements, but I did very quickly. And it has like YouTube AdSense, Google AdSense, and they basically just pay you a certain amount of cents. I think it was like less than 20 cents per thousand views. Very, very small. And I don't think it has changed much, like short form wise. That's pretty much the going rate from what I have seen. So yeah, 2020, 2021, posted a lot, made no money. And I very quickly learned that you could not please everyone. So I was just posting what I liked. I'm very happy that I learned that rule quickly. Um, because I talk to a lot of people who are starting on social media now, and I want to get into hate comments in a little bit, but they're very quick to be like, they're very quick to be defensive. And I think early on, I very quickly realized that no one's going to be happy. Not everyone is going to be happy with what you're doing. So you might as well just do what you like. Another thing I learned in 2021 was just like an editing style because I was posting so much. I figured out how I wanted to do voiceovers and what kind of platforms I like to use. And I also learned that, and I preach this today, you don't need to buy equipment. At this point, I think like even the first 3 years, I was recording everything on my phone. And I had a really shitty phone when I first started out. And that was like the going topic for so many like articles that I was in. And they were like, this is just what she's doing. And I had a tripod that I like put around my neck because I filmed like a point of view style while I was at work so I could still continuously work. Um, 1 second. Um, then we get to 2022. And this was a very defining year for my career because it was the moment where I was like, am I going to stop? Am I going to do this for fun? Or am I going to try and make a career out of this? So at the tail end of 2021, I was struggling to keep up with my emails. I was struggling to think of a rate for brands. Like I still hadn't made anything because I was like, I didn't know how to charge, and two, I didn't know what to charge. Three, I didn't know how to negotiate. So early 2022, I met with a lot of different managers because you hear horror stories about management and agencies in the entertainment creator space. And I didn't want to be screwed out of my money. I wanted to make money and I needed help. So I met with a bunch and I didn't want to force it. If nothing fit, then that was that. But the second I had a call with my now current manager, I was like, this is it. This is going to help me. And it'll be 4 years I guess, January, February, that I've been with the same management team. And they basically changed my life. They have helped in more ways than they probably know. Um, for anyone who doesn't know, talent manager like helps you with brand deals. They help you manage events and PR and creating your brand. I mean, it differs across different management companies, across different countries. But that was my experience, and they helped me transition from Dairy Queen to more like lifestyle stuff because that's what I wanted to do. I was not put on this earth to create Dairy Queen ice cream content. I still don't know what I was put on this earth to do necessarily, but it wasn't that as much as I loved it. So, anyways, the thing with managers, again, I went off. I'm trying to follow my notes, and sometimes I will go off on a tangent. But manager is great. It's not something you need to do super early on in like your creator career. Um, but the system is great because they don't make money if you don't make money. They take a percentage, usually ranging from 10 to 5 to upwards of 33%, but it's usually 10 to 20 in that range from what I have heard. In the same year of 2022, I incorporated my business to a corporation from being a sole proprietor, another great decision that I made with the very great help of my parents, who are also entrepreneurs. Um, with a corporation, you gain the advantage of having limited liability, which protects you and your personal assets from business debts. And there are great tax savings through corporate tax rates. And I'm going to end it there. That's really all I know. I have great lawyers and accountants who handle that for me. Again, in 2022, I also made that switch to from Dairy Queen to more lifestyle books, things like that, because I enjoyed it more. It let me be myself. It was easier, and it also allowed me to be more like brandable, truthfully. I was at a point where I was like, I want to make this a career, and I can't do that if I'm not showing my face or telling people who I am. Okay, so 2023 was peak influencer era, and I hate that word. I think a lot of influencers will tell you that they don't like that word. It has a bad rap, especially these days. So I usually go with like creator, content creator, um, really anything but influencer. But 2023 was my peak influencer creator year. This was the year I was on brand trips. I was meeting celebrities. I went to LA for the first time, hated it, still don't like it. Went to LA for the first time. And if you look at my social media and everything that I was doing, it looks incredible. And in theory, it was incredible and it did so much for where I am now. But that was a point, and that was a year in my life where I have never felt more anxious as I was. And I don't want to, I'm not saying like, oh, I was doing all these amazing things, but I was anxious. Like, it was just the fact that I was like 17, 18. I was trying to figure out who I was. I was pretending to be someone that I wasn't. And that was where a lot of the anxiety was coming from. I was pretending to be this extroverted person that I wasn't. I'm an introvert at heart. I'm a reader, if you couldn't tell from all the books behind me. And I'm a bit more extroverted now, but it comes out more naturally. Before I was just like, I feel like this is the person I need to be, and it wasn't. I wasn't good at meeting new people. I felt like I was going to throw up every time I had to travel alone. It was just it was definitely an interesting year. And the thing with social media is that no one really knows that. But that's what it was. I was also in my second year of university at Mac at the time. And because I was working and because I was traveling so much, I was very fortunate to have a lot of online classes. And then I had really great profs for the in-person classes because there were some times when exam season would roll around. Sorry, I'm gonna have this other sip of water. Exam season would roll around and I wasn't there. And because in the creator world, these trips and these meetings and these things all around the world come up very, very quickly, which was probably another reason for my anxiety because I am a very type A calendar driven person. And when something pops up a day before, I was like, oh my God, my profs are going to kill me. Um, but they were always very understanding. And I think I learned that it's just better to be honest, and figure out what works. So I made a video about it, about the trip, but I have had to postpone exams. I have had to write exams like in my prof's office. I've had to write exams in the airport. I've had to write exams at like 2 a.m. with time changes. And no part of this is me complaining. This is just what my life was looking like in 2023. And just true appreciation to have this incredible job and to have these incredible profs that were letting me postpone my exams to live my life and work and everything. And this was just a year that I think I learned so much. And I quickly came to the realization that because I was doing so many things, I realized that if you do something so many times, it becomes easier. And that was something that I was told growing up so much. And it never clicked until 2023 because I was the young, anxious kid who hated new things. I hated the first day of school. I hated the first day of like a new swim class. I didn't like change. I didn't like new things. I didn't like something that I wasn't fully prepared for. And I think working in the social media industry and doing all these things, you'd never know what you're going to get. You post a video, you don't know how people are going to react. You go on a trip, you don't know who you're going to know. It's a very easy job, and I don't want this to come across as shallow or anything because I'm so grateful for where I am, but I was very anxious. But the anxiety has lessened so much in recent years because I am prepared to not be prepared, and that is something that again took a very long time to learn. And I'm still learning. 2023 was also like, while it was peak influencer career, it was peak, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Being in second year meant I was basically half done. And I was like, do I continue my 4 years? What will people think if I don't? What am I going to do with my degree? Is social media even sustainable? And I think I was stressing myself out trying to answer all of these questions. And I think I just went with my gut. And that's what I still go to today. So I ended up actually, we're going to get into like recent years in a second, but I actually did my degree in 3 years instead of four, because I wanted the degree. And that was super important for me, which I want to get into in a second. We're going to go to like 2024 to now. But I wanted to give everyone listening or watching a very easy breezy guide to being successful and posting on social media. Because not many people talk about it, or it's like very like wishy-washy, whatever. But this, I think I have 6 steps on posting on social media. And number 0 is don't do it for the money. If you're like, oh, like I see how much like influencers are making, which is sometimes like very extreme. Like it's a very broad spectrum of what people make in the industry, regardless of follower counts these days. It really comes down to like, anyways, the engagement numbers and yada. Number 0 is don't do it for the money. If you're doing it for the money, you might as well just stop right now because you will get burnt out so quickly. You have to do it because you are passionate about it. So if you're not doing it for money, then you're good. I mean, you can make money and you can make good money from it, but that can't be the driving force as to why you do it. You will know, your followers will know, it'll just not feel right. Number 1, post your personality. There are some successful no show, no face accounts. As someone on social media, I like to see people's faces. I like to see real people. Um, and that goes hand in hand with not caring what people think. You have to be okay with not putting your whole self out there, but a part of you and a part of you that people can relate to, because that's what will give you engagement and followers and a community, is showing your real self. But you can't care about what people think. Um, this goes into post your personality. I'm not a fan of niches at first. A lot of influencers, creators will tell you like find your niche, find your niche, find your niche, but it's very hard to find your niche if you've never posted before. You don't know, you might love scrapbooking or knitting, but you won't like posting about it. It's really about finding what you like and seeing what sticks is kind of what I'm truthfully still working on. Number 2, I'm a planner. This is not integral, but it will help to create like a 2-week or a month plan on what videos you want to post, the title, the sound, the text on screen. the concept or the script, just like a very brief outline of what you want to talk about. And if you just want like some bullet points, which is often what I do when I'm planning a video, and then once you sit down, you're pretty much good to go to just like yap to the camera. That's also okay. I use Airtable to plan everything. They have a free version. It's great. I used it for school. I use it for everything. It's great. Number three, balance the trends. A lot of creators will also tell you, oh, just like jump on the trends and it's like easy views. It is, but only if the trend and the content that you are doing aligns with the content that you're going to be posting long term. Because yes, you might get a lot of views and a lot of followers from a trend like video, but then if you post something completely different, people are like, wait, why did I follow this person? And pinning the trending account works, but not long term. Number four, post consistently. Whether that is, now I posted 7 times a day in my very early career. That is absolutely not necessary. So whether it's once a day, twice a day, 4 times a week, once a week, I'm a bit more in the vein of like, yes, post what you like and see what sticks, but it's also very much quality over quantity, while showing your personality. You will find the groove of what works very quickly. And cross post, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. It's pretty much, some people have luck with Snapchat. I think Snapchat is not in my age group anymore. I don't know how to work it as well. And number five, don't respond to hate comments. This is just don't. It took a I don't even know how to like just let them hate and you have to be okay with that and it sucks. It really sucks sometimes. Sometimes I will get a hate comment and I'm like, "Ooh, that one stung. That one like dug a bit deeper, but you just have to be okay with turning off the phone, closing the app and being okay with it because responding back doesn't look great. You are arguing with a random person on the internet. And truthfully, if you have like even a small amount of a following, your following will defend you to that person instead. And truthfully, at the end of the day, that will rack up the comments and the engagement, and no hate is good. You can block the person. I've done that before if they're like really, really rude. But the fact of the matter is, if they really want to comment hate, they will find a way. They will create a new account. They will do something. So it's better to just not let it affect you and move on. Okay. Now, 2024 to now has been, I know I said 2023 was defining, 2024 to now has put me in a spot where I have a career and I feel good saying that I have a career. So in 2024, I graduated. And it was very bittersweet because I love school. I loved Mac. I didn't have, because I took so many online courses, I didn't have like a friend group. I had two really, really great, incredible friends who were in my program and we relied on each other and it was great. But it was bittersweet because I was going on to live my life and do a career that I actually love to do. But graduating school meant that there's no more syllabus to tell you how to live your life. And working for yourself also means that no one is ever going to tell you what to do. So it was scary. And again, like I didn't know if social media was going to be sustainable, which leads me to like the meat of everything and where I am right now because I got to a point in and around the time where I graduated, maybe a little bit before, where I wanted to do more than just be an influencer, a content creator. I wanted to do more than post videos on social media, which I still love doing, but I don't want to get to a point where I'm putting my kids on social media. I don't even put my family on social media these days. So the biggest turning point was visiting a movie set, which I never thought I would say. I never thought I'd even be able to do it again, but I've done it now like 7 or 8 times, and they are probably like the best days of my life. If no one has ever been on a movie set here, and I'm not sure, um, the experience is not even well articulated verbally or on social media. It's something that I truly wish everyone could experience. And going to my first movie set, I was in Victoria, BC. And this is something that me and my team and my manager were like, I really like want to be on set. And Tubi and Wattpad were kind of the first ones to like take me under their wing in a circumstance like that. So I was invited to Victoria, BC to do one behind the scenes set day on Noah Beck's movie, which was Sideline, The QB and Me, which is the book adaptation of The QB Bad Boy and Me by Tay Marley. And again, this was one of the best days of my life. Hearing them say rolling, action, and cut changed some sort of thing in my brain chemistry to this day. Never gets old. I also very quickly realized how many times they film one scene from various different angles, but there was never a point in that 12-hour set day that I was bored. And I was like, okay, cool. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So shortly after that, but we've been working on it for a little bit, my business partner and I co-founded Bookish Media, which is essentially a media and production company that helps great stories find their next chapter. And that's kind of our tagline for the company, but it's also very aligned with what we actually do. It's about elevating books. It's about taking a bunch of pieces of paper and doing something else with it. It's about adapting it. It's about putting it in a book club. It's about bringing the author on a podcast. And that's pretty much exactly what we've done. So stage one of the company was launching a book club. Please hold. We launched the book club in July of 2024 with a novel love story by Ashley Poston, which will forever be a book that I will love and cherish because that was the first book I ever chose. Our goal from the get-go was kind of to emulate Reese's Book Club and Hello Sunshine. And for anyone who doesn't know, basically how their company works or how I understand their company works is Hello Sunshine has the IP to all of the Hello Sunshine has all of the IP, the rights to the books in Reese's Book Club so that they can do these incredible things with these women-led stories. So like Daisy Jones and the Six, like had the rights to produce the TV show. So that was kind of like the very big dream goal that we were starting with. And step one was creating a book club. Stage two, that goes in line with stage one, was finding other IP. Maybe it didn't go in the club, but we wanted to find these great stories that we could elevate, that we could adapt, that we could do something with, that we could produce something incredible with. And this went hand in hand with like finding books of like romance with substance. I didn't want another rom-com. I want something epic. Stage three was actually launching the company to the public. We worked on Bookish Media for a very long time before we told anyone because with the launch, we wanted to have something else to launch it with. And so we launched it with the podcast, which is stage four. But when it came to launching the company, we were like, okay, like how do we do this? Because I could obviously talk about it on my social platform, but I wanted to do something where other people who didn't follow me would see. So we launch in the published press. And if anyone is unfamiliar with that, it's probably my favorite newsletter. It is for like all creative entertainment industry things. It comes out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it tells you everything you need to know that's going on in the industry. So we were very lucky to interview with Hannah Doyle, who was the writer at the time, and we were in the published press for the launch of the podcast, which launched in March of this year. We are now halfway into season two, which is it's just incredible. We started season one. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did a combination of like solo episodes, which were terrifying. I was basically in a room talking to myself and my producer for an hour. I did friend episodes, I did author interviews, and the author interviews are what stuck. So we took the summer as a break and we relaunched with season two of just authors. And I have been very, very fortunate to have incredible authors on the podcast for season two, like Lauren Roberts and Bryn Weaver and Hannah Bonham Young. And I feel like I am living a dream sometimes because these are authors and I read their books like even before I was on social media. So it's been really, really incredible. Launching the podcast has also given me a lot of other skills like hiring employees, which is wild to say. Like a year and a half ago, I was in school, and now I am writing up job postings and I'm conducting interviews with everyone who is frankly older than I am. And it was hard to give up that power. It's hard to give up something that I have put my hard energy into, but like my parents tell me and my team tells me, you have to spend money sometimes to make money. And I'm still working on doing that. Stage five, most recently, was last week on October 7th. We released a new newsletter on Substack. Substack is where our book club currently lives. And we spent a long time crafting out what we wanted to make our next publication. Um, it's called Well Read, and it's basically like your go-to to bookish news happening in the publishing world and the adaptation space and how I'm feeling about it. It's so fun to write. I've only written two so far, um, but I feel good and I feel confident about it, which is pretty much the important thing when it comes to working right now, is I want to feel good about it and I want to feel good about the content that I am putting out into the world. Stage five, last one that we are currently working on is to make a damn movie. We've got some very exciting, very, very exciting things in the works. Um, and I don't want to share anything I'm not supposed to share, but we're working on things and kind of the end goal is I want to make a movie. I want to be on set and I am not a manifestation person, but I am trying more and more to like put that out in the universe because that is what I want to do. And I want to elevate some of these stories, whether they are already popular books or by indie authors and no one has heard of them. That is what we're currently working on. And that about sums up like me and what I've been working on. My final thoughts before we go over to like a Q&A. I wanted to be open about some things that I still struggle with. And that is saying no. It's tough. It's hard. It's tough to find a balance between like saying yes and saying no and doing what you feel obligated to do, but protecting your inner peace. Um, I struggle a lot with work-life balance. Working for yourself means it's very, very hard to turn off the like constantly working machine in your brain. And I'll be out with friends and I'm like, ooh, video idea. Ooh, like I forgot to talk about this book. And I just I think to just shut my brain off sometimes. I mean, everyone struggles with finances and stress about that. And this might come as a very big shock, but I still struggle with being in front of the camera. I'm not good. I'm good if it's me and my phone. If someone else is there with a video camera or a photographer, it's not good. I freeze up like a clam and I don't know why, and I don't think it'll ever go away, but I'm at a point where I have accepted that. Um, and I guess my one piece of advice going forward that I haven't already mentioned, this is obviously like do what you want because you're not going to please everyone, but it's trust yourself and it's trust your gut. Because amidst all of this, I feel like I have done a very good job with that, but I'm striving to do it better because you know yourself best, not anyone else, no matter what they say. So trust you and trust your gut. And I'm going to stop talking now and answer any questions that people have because I am an open book.
Thank you.
Of
Wow, I want to go to a movie set now. Now I
I'm
feel like
Fiona,
I
if
need
I
to
get a
go.
+1 next time, you can come with
I'm your
me.
girl. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, pop them in the chat or the Q&A. We have one here, Morgan.
Yeah.
So Gabrielle, oh, she also said amazing story. I hope
Yeah.
I'm saying it. I hope it's Gabrielle. Says, can you talk a bit more about getting an agent? I have a
Hmm.
small social media following that I want to grow, and I'm trying to figure out the right time.
Yeah. So that's a really good question because I struggled a lot with like giving up the power in my social media career, my business. I think as I mentioned before, the structure is really good in the sense of like they don't make money unless you make money. So you're not having to like pay a freelancer or an assistant or anything like that. I think I got to the point where I was like, oh, I need a manager when again, I didn't know what to charge for deals. I couldn't run my emails as well. So when it got to that point, I reached out to my creator friends and just like truthfully, I think I cold outreached a couple Canadian creators because it was very important to me to have a Canadian agency, Canadian management. I don't know why it was at the time, and it worked out great now, but I just wanted someone close to home. I didn't want to be lost in like a massive agency like there's like Select, there's Whaler in the States, and they have massive, massive, massive rosters. So I think I reached out to a couple of friends. I reached out to a couple Canadian creators, and I was like, hey, like I'm looking for management. Is your manager or agent hiring? Are they looking for new creators? And I was put in touch with them via email, and I scheduled a bunch of meetings with different ones. And for the most part, I didn't have any questions going into it. I just wanted them to talk, and I honestly just like wanted to get a vibe for what was going to work. And again, when I found a manager and he was great, I kind of knew. They kind of had a vision when I went into the meeting, and they're not trying to force anything on you, and they believe in you. Like you feel like you're supported before you're even part of the roster, I guess. And I hope that answers your question.
I think so. She did ask if you're willing to share who you use. If you're not, totally
Oh,
understand.
yeah. I am repped under Shifted Digital, which is a
I
Toronto-based.
can attest they've been wonderful to work with.
Yeah, they are great. They make my life so much easier.
Perfect. Well, please, anybody else throw questions in, but I'll ask you a question in the meantime, because I
Yeah.
know you love books.
Mm.
What are you currently reading?
Ooh. Oh, what an amazing question. What am I reading? I have a couple on the go. I
Or any must reads for people that they
Okay, I'm gonna
must
answer
read?
both. So I'm currently reading Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, which is like a second chance rom-com. I gotta be honest, I'm not obsessed with it. Um, Christina Lauren, like I don't know, I just have never been able to connect with their books. But it's fun, it's light and fluffy. I'm also listening to Wild Dark Shore, which is like I'm literally just into it, or I just started it, but it's like thriller island mystery vibes. And
Hmm.
my must, technically it's must listen, but my must read that I have shouted from the rooftops is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, but it must be listened to on Audible, which is narrated by Ray Porter. And this is a book and it's sci-fi, and I am not a sci-fi reader. I don't actually know what like propelled me to pick up this book this year, but it's probably my favorite book of all time. And without spoiling anything, because the synopsis doesn't give you a lot, like mm, all of the suns in the entire galaxy are dying except for one. So they send this like team of astronauts up to the galaxy where the only sun is not dying, and they have to basically try and save the world. But it's a lot more than that. I mean, it's comical and it's heartwarming, and it's genuinely one of the best books ever written. And it has sound effects, which is why you should listen to it as an audiobook. That's like my go-to recommendation of 2025.
Amazing. I don't even like sci-fi, and I'm like, wow,
See, that's the
that
thing. I
seems,
don't
oh,
either.
see, somebody likes
Yeah.
it.
It's
Yeah.
it's a very, very popular novel. I am not the first person to recommend it.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. What's it called? Project Hail
Project Hail
Mary.
Mary. Yeah.
Who's it by?
Andy Weir. Weir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, in the meantime, Graydon has a question here. Did you get any support from other creators when trying to come up with new and engaging content, or is brainstorming typically a solo effort?
Ooh. Okay, right off the bat, I'm answering no. Being a creator is like no one, when I get together with my creator friends, we are not often like talking about video ideas. I mean, a part of me, I guess, wishes we were, but I think it's also a very like deeply personal thing. Like even sometimes my like family and friends will be like, "Oh, you should film this video." What I have found in almost 6 years of creating content, it's a personal thing, and you're the one who's going to sit down and film the video. And if you are not feeling 100% about the idea or what you are talking about, it's not going to come off as authentic. So I haven't found any luck with brainstorming with other creators, at least in like the book Toronto world, truthfully, because we're all also like reading different books. I think the beautiful thing about social media, as much as I truthfully hate it sometimes because it can be very, very toxic, but on the bright side, the book talk space is so incredible for book recommendations. So I find that with credit, you can often like see what your friends are filming and be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna like toggle this video to the books that I want to read," and things like that, I would say. But I like to sit or walk around in silence and think of video ideas. And I never force it. Like truthfully, the last couple of days, like I have not had enough creative capacity to think. And somehow last night, I don't know if I was like sleep deprived because of my almost red eye flight back from LA this weekend, but it was like 11:45 last night and I got this immediate like burst of creativity and I sat at my computer for like an hour and a half and basically typed out all of these video ideas that were just like coming to me and I was scripting them. But again, I have found that it never works to force it. So you have to kind of wait for that creativity to come to you or put yourself in a space where that creativity is going to flow. Like on a walk, I get really creative when I drive. I get creative when I'm like by water for some reason. Like you just have to figure out what works for you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more questions here. Have you ever written any blogs?
Ah, I mean, okay, so like no blogs, but Substack, I feel like bridges the gap between a blog and a newsletter because a newsletter is like a blog is like written driven content, and a newsletter in my brain sometimes is like flashy graphics and everything. And I feel like Substack is a really good in between them both. So over the past 18 months, I wrote a weekly newsletter for the book club, which was very like my book thoughts and things like that. But again, that was like in a newsletter weekly format. So not a blog, but like something of the sort. Because I love to write as much as I like don't love to be in front of the camera all the times. Writing is really, really fun to me. And I love Substack. I find it's a probably the least toxic of the social media platforms.
I've never heard of it,
Oh, it's
so I'm
so,
gonna have to
so
get on
good.
it.
Yeah, it's great. It's very new. It's very good to new creators. It's not oversaturated. There are like pay tiered options that I haven't personally used, but I know a lot of creators who've had success with it.
Do you have a link to your Substack? Somebody's asking. You can always send it to me and I can share it out.
I'll pull it right now.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
amazing. In the meantime, we have another question here.
Yeah.
What metrics do you think sponsors and advertisers look at most when choosing to partner with creators?
Hmm.
Are there any materials you used, online, books, etc., to help learn the business aspect of being a content creator?
Ooh. Okay, to answer the second part of that question, no, because when I was early on in my career, like social media career, I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I found like practicing and just doing all these things helped me learn. Trying to read all these contracts that I was getting helped me learn. Hiring a lawyer and like having her kind of run me through these contracts, help me learn. Like in the beginning, I didn't know what the heck whitelisting was. Whitelisting is when you post a video, you toggle it as an ad, you develop a code, and then you send that code to the brand, and the brand will boost the video. They will like whitelist it and they will push it like every like four or so videos, you will see a video on TikTok and it says sponsored. That means a brand is behind the scenes pushing a creator's video. Um, I think that answers the second part of the question. So no, I didn't. I think now there are a lot of really great resources to find the business side of content creation. I will say take it with a grain of salt. Different things work for different creators, brands work differently. It's really a lot about trial and error and teaching yourself because you know it best. Um, to answer the first part of the question, the metrics that brands care about, that's a good, really good question because it depends every single time. The newer from my understanding, and again, take this with a grain of salt because this is just what I'm whipping up in my brain right now of things that I have heard from my team and other creators and the industry is brands are caring less and less about the follower count, and they're caring more about the engagement rates because some people have crazy amounts of followers, but they've lost their community. So they're not getting a ton of comments. Not many people are engaging with their videos. Um, I would say like the comments and the shares are probably the most important metrics out there. But there are also some brands who are they've been around for a bit. I don't even have an example right now, but just some of the older brands who maybe their marketing team is like being run by the boomers or Gen X, they will look at follower count because that's what they're used to. They're looking at seeing like one number, where other brands, again, are looking at engagement rates. They're looking at the engagement rate, they're looking at shares, they're looking at comments, they're looking at the click-through rate of like past deals. If you put a link in your bio, okay, how many people clicked on it? If you put a link in your story, how many people clicked on it? I hope that answers the question. That's very long-winded on what
No, I
I
think that was a great answer.
know.
Any upcoming book to film adaptations you are excited about?
Hmm.
I know there is a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. It feels like every book these days is getting picked up, which I am very excited about as a reader, truthfully. A lot of readers will be like, oh, they're gonna ruin it. But in
Are you
my eye,
normally a book over the movie type of girl? Or depends?
it depends. These days, I kind of see them as like separate things, which
Yeah,
I think goes hand in hand with like being on set. You are seeing the director, the producers, the executive producers, the casting director, the author. They're crafting a new entity. They are crafting something before. Like the movie is never going to feel like the book. And I feel like I'm in a place where I fully understand that. That said, I do often like the book better than the movie, except for like The Summer I Turned Pretty, the show is better than the book. That's about like my prime example, but ones that I'm excited for. Um, I love Maxton Hall. This is the German film that me and Fiona were talking about actually before this call. That is one of my favorite TV shows out there. It's a bit cringy, but it's awesome. Like it's so
highly
fun to
recommend.
watch. Yeah. Um, that's coming out. What else is coming out that I'm excited for? I mean, there's a lot in development right now. Like Elsie Silver's Rose Hill books are, I'm pretty sure they're in development. That's really exciting. Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, also in development. Oh, Bridgerton, they just announced the release dates for January and February. That's probably like my top tier most excited for adaptation that's coming up. Even though I haven't read that book just yet, I will before it comes out.
I love Bridgerton.
Yeah, so good.
Great, great show. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you one final question, but if anybody
Sure.
else has anything, we have a little bit of time left if they want to jump in. Would you ever write your own book?
That's a good question. Yes, I would. Not right now, not in 2026. Maybe I start in 2027. I love to write. I love pushing my career where maybe I'm a little bit more behind the scenes. And I think when I get to the point where I'm like getting married and having kids, I will not be on social media. And I have talked about that before, but I'm not for the mommy bloggers. I'm not for the family YouTube channels. I don't think it's safe. I don't think they've given their consent, and that's a whole other like whatever thing topic. But yeah, I would love to write a book. I would probably write a rom-com, I think. As much as I love romantasy, and that's like what I grew up reading. I don't know if my first book should be a rom. I don't think I have the brain
It's a hard
knowledge.
thing to write.
It seems so hard. And like kudos to all the authors. I mean, never say never. I might. I don't think I would either do a romantasy. I would either do a YA romantasy. It's a bit easier, I think, or an adult rom-com. Or maybe a YA rom-com. Something in that vein. I would love to. I think it would be a bit confusing with my last name. I don't think there's any authors whose last name is Book.
Unique.
Um, might need a pen name for that, but who knows?
Okay. I think that's fantastic, and we are going to look forward to seeing your book one day.
Thank you. Yeah,
No
one day.
rush.
We'll come back and we'll talk about this again once I eventually maybe do
Yeah,
that.
we'll do a boardroom to book.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This session will be recorded, so we'll make sure to pass that along, and we'll have Morgan's socials in there too, so you can go ahead and follow her on the Substack, which I didn't even know. I have to
Wild.
I feel old. I need to like get in there.
Oh, thank you, Fiona. Thank you guys
Okay,
for listening and having me.
amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone.